Hi everybody, my name is Rupa. I am working as assistant professor in Chevron Engineering College in the Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering. I am dealing the subject renewable energy sources and today's topic is solar still and problems related on that. Hi everybody. As discussed before, we are having a operating efficiencies of 35 to 50%, and these operating efficiencies are for basing type, and these should be achieved. These should not be these are not actually, these are not the achieved percentages in practical units as compared with the theoretical units. Maximum of slightly they can be up to 60%. And the performance rating and efficiencies of solar still, these are determined by plotting the graphs of amount of fresh water produced per unit of basin area in one day and versus on other side solar radiation intensity over the same period. If you plot, we can have the performance rating and efficiencies of the solar still. Such curves are also still drawn at present days. Efficiency for this is defined as neta is equal to omega delta H by H, where omega is the weight of distillate per square meter per day, and delta H, it is the change from cold water to vapors, and capital H refers to solar radiation intensity per square meter per day. Here area of water surface is to be considered separately, and delta H includes, it is including the latent heat of vaporization, which is taken as an average value of 594.5 kilocalories per kgs, or this value will be 2489 kilojoules per kgs. In calories means 594.5, in kgs kilojoules means 2489 value. So the performance of solar still is actually expressed as a quantity of water produced by each unit of basin area in one day. That means cubic meters of liters of water per square meter of basin area per day. It is calculated. This quantity will be varying with the design of the still. There will be various designs of the still, and this quantity is not exactly the value what we have said. It will be varying with the design of the still and it also varies with intensity of solar radiation. So how is the intensity of solar radiation on the day? It varies with that intensity also, and it also varies with atmospheric conditions in the surroundings. Okay, by the wind and humidity, like that it considers the atmospheric conditions in the surroundings, and the production rate depends primarily mainly on the amount of solar radiation available, and it is also affected by several such other factors like ambient air temperature, what is the wind speed there, and what is the humidity, atmospheric humidity there, and what are the sky conditions there. Is there any cloudiness, clouds, or without clouds, the sky conditions also, these also differ the production rates. And the effect of design parameters, what are the design parameters, what are the design variations we are getting. Orientation of steel, first one is orientation of steel, how the steel is oriented, is it vertical or it is oriented to a tilted angle. Next, single sloped or double sloped. Okay, is it single or double sloped. Next, what is the inclination of the glass cover used on the steel, and what is the inclination of the base. So these all parameters, they affect the production rate. And Effect of operating parameters are there which affect the production rate also. What are the operating parameters means, such as water depth in the tray, what is the quantity, what is the volume of water, and what is the depth in the tray, and absorption emittance properties of the still, how long how it is absorbing the solar radiation, is it perfectly absorbing, or is it any refractions or reflections will be there while absorbing? We have to consider this parameter also. And preheating of water. If the water is preheated before day, then the absorption rate will be decreasing. So these also affect the production rate. And solar still insulations may be provided about 15 to 50 liters per day per 10 square meters. This is the solar still. This is the end of the unit of this is the theory part over. Theory part is over up to here, and we will discuss the problem. We will complete the second unit. So see the problem. This is the first one and only one problem having in the second unit. So this is the given data of the problem. So data for a flat plate collector used for heating the building are given below. Okay, using a flat plate collector, we are solving this problem. Formulas for flat plate collector we are using, and this flat plate collector is what is the application used in the flat plate collector means it is used for heating the building. Okay, first factor, these are the factors given on the these are the factors given on the left hand side, and specifications regarding the factors are given on the right side. So first factor, location and daytime, location and latitude and daytime. First, it is given at the location of Baroda. Location and latitude is at Baroda at 22 degrees north. The Baroda is located at 22 degrees north. Latitude is given, not longitude. And day and time, it is day on January 1st and time is 11:30 to 12:30. It is the Indian Standard Time. It is given in Indian Standard Time. Next, third one is, it is the annual average intensity of solar radiation. Right? This is 0.5 Langlays. After this, Langlays should be converted into other forms. In the problem, we will convert that. And next one is collected tilt. Okay, so this is the annual average intensity of solar radiation. Actually, this annual and average of solar intensity radiation is denoted as HB. Okay, HB is 0.5 Langlays per minute. Next, collected tilt. It is latitude 15 degrees. It is used for calculation of slopes. And number of glass covers. How many number of glass covers are there? That is equal to 2. That is that is useful for calculation of rho d. Okay, if at all snow is snow, without snow we are taking it as 0.24, and with snow covers, between the two glass covers we have to take it 0.7. After in problems I will explain that. Okay, so these 0.24 and 0.72 are should be remembered by you. These are default values and they are not given in the problem. Next, heat removal factor for the collector is 0.810. These abbreviations I will say afterwards in bits. What they asked in the question, in those I will they will come. Next, transmittance of glass 0.88, absorptance 0.90, and top loss coefficient for collector is 7.88 watts per meter square. Actually, down there is other value 6.80. We have to calculate, we have to take the values all these in these only. Kilocalories per hour per meter, meter square in Celsius degrees we have to take, not watts per meter. Down value we have to take. Collector fluid temperature, ambient temperature 60 and 15 degrees respectively. So what we have to find out means, first one is solar attitude angle sine alpha, second one is incident angle theta, and collector coefficient neta. Collector efficient is neta. We have to find out these three. Okay, see. First one is solar attitude angle sine alpha. We have to find first bit solar attitude angle, second bit is incident angle, third bit is collector efficiency. Remember these three. For data, I will show you the previous slides. For given data, again I will move to the previous slides. Okay, so solar attitude angle sine alpha you have to take. So sine alpha, what is the alpha formula? Sine alpha formula is cos phi, cos xi, cos omega plus cos phi s. Phi s means here phi only. Sine xi. Okay, so here cos phi we have to find cos xi, cos omega, and we have to find these values phi, xi, omega. And if you write cos or sine, we will get the value there. So first I am finding out the cos phi value. This one, phi value. So that is nothing but the location and latitude. Okay, phi means where the place is located. So location and latitude, it is given as phi as 22 degrees north. So phi value will be equal to 22 degrees north. Okay, so phi is 22 degrees. So in place of phi or phi s, both are same. So to say that both are same, I represented both in the equation. I showed you both in the equation to relieve that reveal that phi is equal to phi s. Okay, so phi or phi s is equal to 22 degrees north. Okay, both are equal, 22 degrees north. Next, we have to find here xi. So xi, that is called as solar declination angle. That is equal to, what is the formula means, 23.45 sine 360 by 365 and 284 into n. Here we have to get only this n value. Only this n value we have to get. So for this n value, we have to know the day. In the year, 365 days will be there. In that, which day is calculated means that is the n value. If January 1st is taken, n is value is 1. If January 2nd is taken, n value is 2, like that. Okay, so we have to count the day in the year it comes. Okay, so in the data we are given day is January 1st. Okay, so n value will be equal to 1. So n is equal to 1 here. So if you substitute n is equal to 1 here, so 23.45 sine 360 by 365 into 284 plus 1. So if you substitute n is equal to 1, we are getting xi value as minus 23.0 degrees. So we have to consider this minus value also. And 5 over xi over. Next one, omega. If you find out omega, all the abbreviations will be, unknown values will be found out here, and we can substitute all the values in sine alpha equation. Solar altitude angle. So here omega means that is the hour angle. So at this time 11:30 to 12:30, it is called as mean time. In our Indian Standard Times IST, we are calling 11:30 to 12:30. It is the mean time. At this point, omega s or omega will be equal to 0. This is the default. So before means we are getting one values. Before 11:30 means other values we have to take, and after 12:30 means other values we have to take. So at this particular time 11:30 to 12:30 mean time, omega s is equal to 0. So we have to substitute in place of omega 0. So we have got all the values. Phi is 22, xi is minus 23, and omega is 0. Phi is 22, xi is minus 22. So substitute all these values in sine alpha. See here, I am substituting all the values. Cos 22, cos minus 23, cos 0, omega. And sine 22 phi, sine xi minus 23 degrees. So if I substitute, I am getting a 0, sine alpha is equal to, I am getting a value of 0.7036. So we know that sine alpha is equal to this value. From that we can find out alpha. Alpha is equal to sine inverse of this answer. So alpha is equal to 47.7 degrees. So first bit is over. First bit is solar attitude angle sine alpha. So sine alpha is equal to 0.7036. From that alpha, for future calculations we are calculating the alpha, only alpha value. Alpha is equal to 44.7 degrees. First bit over. Second bit, incident angle theta you have to find. This is simple. Theta is equal to formula pi by 2 minus alpha. Okay, so pi by 2 means 90 degrees, half of the pi. So 90 degrees, that is equal to 90 degrees minus, what is the alpha value here we have calculated above? 44.7 degrees. So 90 minus 44.7 degrees means we are getting theta, and incident angle is equal to 45.3 degrees. These are the first two bits. And third bit. So this is a big solution we have to find out for third bit. All the considerations in the, all the formulas in the meter collector efficiency should be find out separately. So first we will see the formula, and what are the calculations we require we will see after. What is neta? Neta is equal to, collector efficiency is equal to QU by HB into RB. So we have to calculate separately what is the QU value and HB value and RB value. Right? First we have to calculate QU. QU formula is QU is equal to FR into S minus UL PFI minus PFA. Okay, so step by step we will calculate the values. First we will calculate QU, after that HB, after that RB. Okay, so first for calculating QU we have to know the value of FR, S, UL, TFI, TA. Okay, see FR, this is called as heat removal factor 0.810, which is given in the data. See this one, heat removal factor, this is FR, this is 0.810. Okay, and next S minus UL. So first we will find out S. For calculating S we have a formula for S. S is equal to HB into RB into tau into alpha. Okay, so we have to find out again in S HB value, RB value and tau into alpha value, right? So first HB I said before, HB is given as 0.5 Langlaise, this one. This is HB is average intensity of solar radiation per year. So this is 0.5 Langlays per minute. But all we have to convert into kilocalories, right? So for calculating it into kilocalories, these are the steps. See, kilocalories per hour, sorry, per meter square. In hours we have to calculate. So first step is I am writing from data HB is equal to 0.5 Langlays per millimeters. Millimeters should be calculated in meters square. So see 0.5. First I am calculating Langlays into calories per centimeter square into minutes. So first one, see, first step, 1 Langley per millimeter is equal to what we know. This is calories per centimeter square per, sorry, calories per centimeter square per millimeters. This is 1 Langley. Okay, 0.5 Langley means 0.5 into calories per centimeter square per minutes. And minutes you have to convert into hours. See, 0.5 into, in centimeter square I am calculating to meter square. So into 10 power 4 centimeter square is there. Only centimeters means 10 power 2. Centimeter square is there. That's why 10 power 4. So 0.5 into 10 power 4 gives meter square. And for writing kilocalories, I am multiplying and dividing with kilo. Okay, so dividing means I have to write simply. If I write K means it is not possible in numerical values. So I am putting K as the 10 power 3. 10 cube means kilo. Okay, and in numerator I am keeping only formula K, kilo. Okay, so multiplying and dividing. Right, so 0.5 into, this is centimeter square is converted into meter square. That's why 10 power 4, and down is 10 power 3. Okay, because I am converting into kilo, I am keeping 10 power 3 downwards. Okay, and numerator 10 power 3. That 10 power 3 can be written as K there. So this is the total 0.5 into 10 power 4 by 10 power 3 is kilocalories per meter square. And I have to write minutes also. I forgot it. Minutes. In minutes only it is there. And these minutes should be converted into hours again. So for converting minutes into hours, I am taking into 60 here. For this value, I am taking into 60. So 0.5 into 10 power 4 by 10 cube into 60. So total this can be written as kilocalories per meter square hours. So if you find out the value of this is 300. 5 into 60. Sorry, 50 into 60 it becomes. So 50 into 60, 300. 300 kilocalories per meter square hours. So if you want to convert this kilocalories, we have to convert into watts. So 1 kilocalorie is equal to 1.163 watts. Right? So for this, by this, if you multiply 300 into 1.163, we will get the equation, we will get the numerical value in watts per meter square. So this is the watts. HB is equal to 350 watts per meter square. So until now, just HB is known in S term. And next RB we have to find, and tau into alpha we have to find. Next RB. This RB is equal to, see the formula there, cos of phi minus, yes, phi is already we got the angle 22, S is the slope value. At the latitude 15 we have to write the slope 37, at the latitude 10 we have to write 32. These two latitudes are known and we have to remember those. So slope S is 37 and xi we got the declination angle minus 23. And omega is 0. For mean time 11:30 to 12:30, omega is 0. So if you substitute all the values here, we will get RB. RB is equal to this value. If you substitute RB is equal to 1.40, you will get. Okay, next tau into alpha. This is called as effective transmittance and absorptance product. Okay, so tau into alpha is equal to, what is the formula? Tau into alpha divided by 1 minus alpha into rho d. So alpha is, we are getting, here they gave that alpha is tau value and alpha value. In data they gave that tau and alpha. See, tau is 0.88 and alpha is 0.90. I will see the, will show you the data. See, these are the tau and alpha values. This 0.88 and 0.90. This is tau value and this is alpha value. Okay, transmittance of glass is 0.88, absorptance of glass is 0.99. See, 0.88 and 0.90. So tau value is 0.80. See, and alpha value is 0.90. So 1 minus again alpha value into rho d. Rho d, I have said that it is the diffuse reflectance for 2 glass covers. So number of glass covers used is 2 here. So for 2 glass covers, if snow is there, we have to take 0.7, rho d as 0.7. If snow is not there, we have to take 0.24. So that's why here it is mentioned that snow is not there. So I am taking rho d as 0.2. 0.24. So after that we will get tau into alpha value as 0.811. Okay. So in yes, we got HB value, RB value and tau into alpha value. So if you substitute all these values in S equation, you will get the value of S. Okay. See. This is the S value. S is equal to HB, RB, tau into alpha. Okay, so that is equal to HB value. We got the 350. 350 we have to write in watts per meter square value, not 300. Remember that 350 into 140. RB value we got 140. Here RB, sorry, 1.40, not 140. RB value is 1.40 and tau value is 0.811. So if you substitute, we will get the S. So as we are taking HB in watts per meter square, we have to write the units of S also in watts per meter square only. Okay, watts per meter square. Next, S is equal to, if we want to calculate in kilocalories hours per hour meter square, we have to again multiply this 395 into divided by 1.16, because 1 kilocalorie is equal to 1.16 watts per meter square. So reverse, if we want, we have to divide it. Next, QU. So after we get S, we have to substitute the S value here. So FR we got, S value you got, and UL. It is called as top loss coefficient for collector. See, UL, top loss coefficient for collector. It is given as 6.80. We will see the data now where it is given. See, in the data, this is 6.80. See, top loss coefficient of collector. If you are taking the remaining units in watt meters, you have to take 7.88. If you are taking remaining units in kilocalories per hour, meter square degrees Celsius, you have to take this 6.80. So as I am taking all the units in kilocalories, I am taking this 6.80. Okay. So next one is this PFI and TA. PFI and TA. PFI is called collector fluid temperature. What is the fluid flowing in the tubes? The temperature is PFI, and TA is ambient temperature there. Okay, ambient temperature means around what is the air temperature there. Okay, so they are given as 60 degrees Celsius and 15 degrees Celsius. See in the data. See, collector fluid temperature, it is given as 60 degrees Celsius and ambient temperature, it is 15 degrees Celsius. So this is PFI. Okay, PFI, and 60 degrees, this is PA, ambient temperature. Okay, we have to substitute these two values. PFI is 60, TA is 15 degrees. So for getting the value of QU, all the required values are known here. So QU is equal to FR 0.80 into S minus S is 340. Here kilocalories is taken because here UL is taken in kilocalories. That's why I am taking the 6.80. If it is 395, S is taken in 395 watts per meter square, I should have to take UL also in kilowatts per meter square. That is 7.88. Okay. So if you take one parameter, if you fix to one parameter, kilocalories or watt meters, remaining all the values should also be taken in that unit only. Okay, so 340.62 S value minus 6.80 U, TF minus TA, so 60 minus 15. So if you substitute all the values, you will get the Q value as 228.07 kilocalories per hour meter square. Again, if you want to calculate this in watt hours, put all the remaining factors, FR in watt per meter square, S in watt per meter square, UL in watt per meter square, and these are fixed, 60 minus 15. So you will get QU in watt per meter square. That is 33.21 watt per meter square hours. Okay, at last you will find out the efficiency. 1 minute. See this efficiency. Nita, last sum you have to, last bit you have to solve. Efficiency is equal to QU by HB into RB. That is equal to QU means that is 28 point, this one in kilocalories I am taking, or 28.07 QU. HB means in previous slides we are getting HB as 300 in kilocalories. You have to specifically see this. Kilocalories means 300 value. Watt per meter square means 350 value. We have to take this value 300. Because QU is taken in kilocalories, that's why HB will also be in kilocalories, 300. And RB is one value. No, it is not dependable on kilocalories or watt-hour meters because it is a value of ratio value. It is unitless. It is ratio value means all the ratio values will be unitless. You know that. So this is unitless. So this has only one value, 1.40. See, 1.40 kilocalories 300 and kilocalories 28.07. That is 0.06. That is we are getting efficiency of 6%. N is equal to finally 6%. Okay. So this is the one problem we are having. This is the end of second unit. Second unit will be over. I will give the material. Next we will start third unit. Unit 3, photovoltaic systems. So in this photovoltaic systems, we will see the photovoltaic effects and what are the photovoltaic cells and what is the principle of this photovoltaic cell and what are the semiconductor junctions, P type and N type. Already what we have taught in previous classes, and how it is used for power generation, and what are the batteries, inverters, and what are the advantages and disadvantages of this photovoltaic solar energy conversion, we will see in this unit. This is the first topic in the third unit. It is solar electric power generation. This electric power generation is done through solar photovoltaic cells, solar cells. Okay, so first we will see the introduction and we will go further. So what is a photovoltaic process and what is the photovoltaic cell, we will see. So this is a direct conversion of solar energy into electrical energy. This is done by a means of photovoltaic effect. This effect means it is the conversion of light or some other any electromagnetic radiation directly into the electricity. So this photovoltaic effect is actually defined as, it is defined as the generation of electromotive force as a result of absorption of ionization radiation. It is the definition of photovoltaic effect. So in this, energy conversion will be done, and the devices which are used to convert sunlight into electricity by the use of photovoltaic effect are called as solar cells. Okay, so these cells are used to convert the sunlight into electricity by using photovoltaic effect. A single converter cell in this is called as solar